and there is no one inside, maybe it's less problematic, much more less problematic than if you classify a place where with human people living inside and for a long time and a society and everything, no? And for a neighborhood is very complicated, but if you classify an ancient city, is even more complicated, no? Like an ancient city, the original city, and you say from here to there, this is heritage, and from here to there, it is not heritage. Totally. But you are not classifying a thing, an isolated thing. You are classifying your life. So this is very difficult, and why the heritage classification and the heritage politics makes problems to me in the case of any living place, neighborhood, or all over the world, but in particular in the case we are working on. No? Well, I will start also with my point of view, because talking about interdisciplinary, when I say that I'm social psychologist, anyone knows what I'm talking about, or what is my approach, no? People know psychology or sociology, but not both. So, and what is the link with urban spaces? Well, it's important to say that my approach is the relationship that we have between that subjects, individuals have with the social world. And a city is a social world, and anything is a social world. And we study this relationship that sometimes is a tension. It's not only a conflict, it's not only, how to say, a link between people, but sometimes there are differences of power, sometimes there are conflicts, and it's not so easy like that. So our unit of analysis as a social psychologist is this relationship, because it is not always easy. Is the question in general terms is how the society shape gets into the person and how the person constructs society by her or his acts in relationship with others. This relationship with others is always there in a historical or cultural context. Studying social memory implies then the observation of different levels, individuals, groups, institutions, and in general, social structures, societies in general. Well, stating the point of the part of the perspective, I would like to make the discussion about social memory because we haven't had the opportunity to do it until now. We have been talking about in the life of the project, the beginning we started, but I would like to come back to this discussion. As Yves said, we started with Halbach's like the main reference and how we did with that. No? Mm-hmm. What was my path, my theoretical path, is that well, this from a psychological point of view, memory as any other cognitive process is social because of language, because we cannot develop human condition, a cognition without sharing with others, staying in society. So there are many psychologists, mainly the psychologists of development, that have said from a long time ago that social cognition is developed in interaction with others. Our social categories, basic social categories, are social. What is who or what? Basic, how to say, categories of our relationship with the world. So, how to pass, for me this is important, but how to pass from this kind of individual memory to a collective memory, if we want to take this concept of highlights. If we state that memory is a cognitive process, we can think of it as a social representation. And a social representation, as Moscovici defined it, is a common sense knowledge that we construct socially during socialization or all our life development. And this is social representations are there, like in collective representations in terms of Durkheim, like collective memories also, and we catch them, introduce them by socialization, but not as a passive knowledge, like Durkheim stated that was coercive social categories. But the difference here is that we individually renew these social representations as common sense, and then these social representations helps us to deal with social world, the others, and to make an interpretation of the world. So social representations of past could be collective memories, and as long as Halbach's and Moscovici take the concept of collective representations to develop the theories, we are not, I mean, we can approach these two theories to say that, in my opinion, that we can call collective memory, or not a collective memory, but see representations of past, social representations of past as social memories that can be elaborated by a single individual or by a group, because these representations can be shared, or we can observe also these representations that are already in the media and like in the social public place, in the public place. So that was to state this relationship between individual memory and so how to go to one level to another. But we can also take this memory in the group, in the social level, and everything. Well, for us, taking Halbach's is important because he states that space is a friend of collective memory, and that this like a dynamic, dialectical relationship with the space. Space is created by society, but the space also gives us identity and everything, and this relationship with spaces is very important, and we can see that. But a question here is, if we use this collective memory concept that Halbach's proposed in between 1955 and 44, because he led the concentration camp, and we know that collective memory is posthumous book. So at that time, society was different, and we used the same concept for as a theoretical frame in societies now, and because he states that there are groups with a strong force that shape very strongly these memories, and there is a memory of the group. You know, as long as the group, he says, as long as the group exists, this memory will exist. But do we have these kind of groups? All theories, maybe now thinking of the urban life, are on the opposite sense, like saying that social links broken, that individuality is the, how to say, the major value, and where is society? You know, what are we talking about when we talk of groups or social identities? Or no. For instance, when these neighbors are ready to go because they have a good price to go to another place, they easily leave their past there. Like it's an economical logic stronger than these links that have us showing all the time. So I think it's important to see this and to discuss about this in this effect. And well, and then we have Pierre Nora, PD, who says that we don't have this collective life anymore. Forget it. This collective memory no longer exists. So we are obliged to construct places of memory, lieu de mémoire, to maintain our identity as an external construction. And we construct places of memory. Our family photograph album is a place of memory in the same way that the museum or no. So individuals and groups have the responsibility to build their memory and artifacts to keep it, and technological development allows that. No? So, and we need rituals and places of memory, and the modern society and the contemporary way of life that is leading us to never have this society to produce collective memory, but so, and then we have, I never know how to pronounce the name, Ibsen, okay, who talks about this kind of public cultural memory, and he says, it's not only that. It's not only that now we don't have collective memory, but that this lieu de mémoire became in our society, contemporary technologized society, in the media all the time. This media, little by little, this lieu de mémoire, these memories, cultural memories, become objects that become like commercial. There is a marketing of the memory. You can sell memories, and then he says, for instance, that we have started to renew spaces and to making these theaters of memories in order to sell these memories. And he says, but it works because we need them. I mean, because we have no longer the social life. We need museums. We become consumers of our memory, and so memory can be a product. Well, in this logic, we can think what is the role of UNESCO classification and politics of heritage in this marketing of memory and everything. No? This is a question for the project that we can develop later. But in the next step, I say, well, Mexico City is not Paris, it's not London, it's not, I don't know, it's big deal about New York. So, is this process really happening here? Is it really true that we are not producing collective memory because we don't have social links anymore? I mean, the theory tells me that, but can I use these frameworks to go to my case, to my school case? And then it's the difficult thing because, well, before that, the research questions goes to that direction to see what happens. No? What is the social memory of historic center of Mexico City that subjects, groups, and society has constructed in the context of UNESCO recommendations for heritage protection? That it's taking the question of the project, but in that dimension, of subject, of the individuality and subjectivity in this. What different memories integrate the social representations of historic center, because it's heterogeneous. And to what extent social representations of memory of historic center are controversial, because it's also a question of threat. So, well, before that, I think in this discussion of memory that when we go down from the scale, the large scale, the scale of observation, to the microsites and individual scale of observation, we can see more social memory than if you enlarge the focus distance from the object, we can see more these places of memory and memory as a public media memory, and they are coexisting. I mean, when I talk about historic center, I can talk about it as a lieu de mémoire, and I can use the public mediatic images of it, but I can talk also of my personal relationship and my, I don't know, my integrity or the relationships that I have with others in the neighborhood. So when we go to the individual level or interactions level in a micro space, we can see better these collective social representations than in the large scale. No? So, well, but so to do so is important to construct a multi-method approach that goes from individual to public cultural memories. So that's why I propose to do these interviews that could, how to say, with questions about personal spatial experience, social and historic landscape, talk about that, cultural traditions, narratives on sketch maps and official maps, free association works. And this is a methodology that I've been using for a long time, studying social representations of the spaces. But in this particular time, I put the accent in the question of memory. Also, we made social interviews with social and institutional. We observed social and institutional discourses. We made open interviews with institutional social actors, and we registered. There was a workshop organized by the Autoridad del Centro Histórico with UNESCO and Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México to discuss with different actors, academic researchers, officials from different institutions, social organizations together to discuss about several thematics concerning historical center. We registered all this, that it was very rich because we had there all the, how to say, it was like almost like collective interviews. It's not exactly the same because they had UNESCO asked each participant to prepare proposals when they made their speech. And it was very interesting because they exposed, they communicated, and the others reacted. No? And then it was very interesting to see contrasted representations and what is the role of memory and heritage in the, what is in the center. What was in the center of the discussion is the controversy for space, the control of space, no? That every group had with their interests.
I think just it's worth to mention that this workshop was organized in order to plan the new management plan.
Yes, it was made to have ideas. So, I don't know, have ideas at the end. I don't know what was really the objective of this. I had the impression that they wanted to make the impression or the image that they were democratizing the urban planning, but I'm not very sure. I mean, like Jaime said, there is this distrust toward authorities that everybody have, no? Well, we have all this material, and then we choose two observation places: northeast, which is a more popular area, and southeast, which is less popular, and I don't know, more commercial, with less, how to say, social problems. The northeast area, for instance, has a lot of street vendors. It's very conflicted. The public space is very conflicted there. On the other side is not. I mean, at least is not the presence of the street vendors. What make it very difficult, very different. Well, I'm going to present. It's a lot of material. I'm going to present like a general result. What we can see here is that we have layers of urban and social memories that come into the representations. The people, and we can, when we read discourses, official discourses, when we listen narratives in interviews, when we analyze maps and everything, we have all different times and memories coming together in the present. Okay?
Sorry, what's the place, the physical space delimitation? What does it represent?
Okay.
What
This is
Alameda?
the historic center.
In the upright?
This is, I'm going to explain, but now is, we can say that that is the delimitation of the historic center. And when they made this delimitation of the historic center in 1980, they decided to cut this, to delimitate this area of the central city, and to say from this to there is historical center from now to the future. And this historic area is divided in perimeter A and perimeter B. Perimeter A is in the core, and
In the
it's
left
never,
side.
no, it's here. This is
Lighter.
all is historical
Uh-huh.
center area, but it's about 10 kilometers. No? And this is B perimeter, and this is A perimeter.
Okay, okay.
And what they say almost
Thank you.
all the time as a criteria to this delimitation is the perimeter A has more density of monuments, architecture, buildings from 19th century. The criteria is 19th century. And 19th century and before. No?
Okay.
And the other is like a area de contingencia, a buffer zone. Yes.
Yes.
Well, to protect the other one. No?
Okay, yes.
But
Sorry. The word A at the side, the perimeter A. The perimeter B is just described like a buffer.
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
But this criteria is just only, and it is not clear. Even the authorities now recognize that they don't know why they cut the territory like that, because it's like
We had a wall in between. In the Dominican Republic, they did the same for the UNESCO in 1990, and beyond this, they created. So it was a city wall back in the 16th century, right? It was the only city. It was this. That tells you that it was declared after. But even, they declared a buffering zone, okay, and the city, and also beside them declaring, they constructed a wall. They said in the buffering zone, people are too poor.
Yeah.
They are poor people, so we need to construct a wall because it will happen that we will commemorate the 500 Quinto Centenario, and tourists that will come, they must not see the poor people.
Okay.
So that's
Like in no? Well, here, fortunately, they didn't construct the wall. They are constructing it now, but symbolically, making differences. But at the period in 1980, it was like administrative decision, and in the practice, you didn't see the difference. And in the practice, people were going and coming without any problem, not considering in their representations that differences. Well, these memories coexist in the same space, shaping the urban landscape and the social representations of the city. They are memories coming from different historic moments, responding each time to hegemonic representations of the city. Memories, these are memories that evolve in time. I mean, the way we imagine the ancient Tenochtitlan, that was the name of the original city, is not the same in the 50s or in the 19th century than we have now. No? Memories that I should say are controversial in every period because of the transformation of the territory and conflicts between cultural groups of its domination. So I can say that we can in all these representations, these layers, these specific layers. The memory of Mexico Tenochtitlan, the original city that appears now as an imaginary of the buried city. No? imagine that it was the pre-Hispanic city with pyramids and everything, and then it was all destroyed and buried, and then they built, for instance, over the temples, the Catholic cathedrals. No? So they, some authors talk about, for instance, urbanism, dramatic destruction of a city, burial of a culture, the intentional burial of a culture, but this buried city comes like a phantom. It comes all the time, and there are millennialist groups who comes there and everything. Well, we have also the memory of the Spanish city, that it has two senses, like they on top in the representations now we can find it like the traumatic fact of the urban and spiritual colonization, but also the city of palaces, because most of the buildings, heritage, class of heritage are from this period. I mean, this Spanish beautiful architecture and everything. Then we have the independent alive city, and like an end of the religious city, and this is because of the laws that separated church from state. And then, for instance, 60% of the buildings belong to church. And then when they decided to took the buildings to the expropriation, I don't know if that we will say that, many buildings were destroyed or cut to divided to make good streets. So it was a very big urban transformation. After that, we have also the Porfirio Diaz dictature city, and we have that follow the ideals of order and progress. Then we have electricity, railways, this modernization of the industrial city. And we have, for instance, everybody knows the